Today we are going to take a close look at the AlphaTauri AT04, driven by the rookie whose season has been cut short, Nyck de Vries. I have to say, Nyck de Vries' popularity here in my home country, the Netherlands, was pretty popular but declined pretty rapidly. I'm very stoked to see another 2023 car on the channel. These cars have been, the 1/18 scale cars at least, has been delayed for quite some time. So it's the it's the end of April at the moment. It's the 25th of recording and they've been releasing as we speak. So yeah, pretty late in the season we're getting the 2023 cars, but still they're here for us to review. But before we continue with this video of today, I want to introduce you to the sponsor of this video, being raceland.de. But before we begin today's video, I first want to introduce you to the sponsor, raceland.de. If you want to get this AlphaTauri AT04 driven by Nyck de Vries, you can still get them at raceland.de. If Formula 1 is not your cup of tea, don't you worry. They also have different categories as well, like the 24 Hours of Le Mans, IMSA, 24 Hours Nürburgring, 24 Hours Spa and GT, touring cars, Rally WRC, Super Formula, Super GT Japan, Formula E, and Land Speed Record. If AlphaTauri is not your cup of tea, they also have different 2023 themes as well. So if you want this model car or a different one, I highly suggest you pick it up at raceland.de. All the links are down in the description. Make sure you check them out as well. So yeah, a little bit of backstory of Nyck de Vries. He actually won the Formula 2 championship in 2019. And he also won the Formula E championship as well. It's not really fair to say that Nyck de Vries wasn't a good driver, because he absolutely is. He just had a very difficult and hard time in Formula 1. You could say that his debut began in Monza 2022, where he actually drove the Aston Martin in free practice 1. Alexander Albon being sick during that race, he had to step in for Alex, having a point finish on debut, which is very nice. He finished 9th that race in a Williams, by the way. His career was cut short by a team which doesn't really grant too much mistakes, so if you drive at AlphaTauri or RB Cash App, Visa, something, or Red Bull, be expected to do the best job you can do or be sacked. There's no in between. So let's begin with the box of today. So as usual, Spark actually has this blacked out box. At the side we have the text Spark with sparkmodel.com. At the side we have a sticker which reads AlphaTauri AT04, Scuderia AlphaTauri Bahrain GP of 2023. And if you look from the front, we can actually see a small little window and already see a glimpse of the car, looking pretty neat. Lid comes off, foam insert as well. The new cars actually come with these foam inserts, which you have to take out. And after that, it's not flipping the box anymore. You can just grab this label and there is your model car. It's absolutely amazing. In all honesty, when I first saw the AT04 being released in 2023, I really didn't like the livery as much, but as I look at it now, it kind of has something. I think this livery is much better than the RB Visa Cash App something we drive in 2024. A lot of people really like that car. I really don't. I think it's one ugly machine. One thing that springs to mind right away, which is that engine bay is so incredibly square. Very nice looking car. Something else than the bigger teams, which I really like. We always do like Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, but once in a while we do teams like this, you know, like the AlphaTauri, which is a midfield team. Well, at the moment a lower midfield team. So this front wing is looking really stellar. It's really high off the ground, but that's not something wrong with the model. That's just how the ground effect cars work. On the flaps, we have at the left hand side we have Alpha, at the right hand side we have Tauri, with the slogan fits body and mind. The carbon fiber pattern looking really great. The latches between the flaps looking really detailed as well. We also see very different sensors as well. They're pretty hidden away on this model. Outside of the wing end plate is a logo which I didn't really like at the 2022 cars as well, with that orange. It doesn't really fit with the rest of the car. It's very good to see that this car actually had the majority of their body in color instead of just carbon fiber. They have this whole beautiful livery panned out, which is really nice. The front of the nose, we have a bunch of different sponsors. We have Scuderia AlphaTauri, Honda Racing, Orlen, Pirelli, Rapid, Revenol and Flexbox. Next to that, we have two beautiful camera pods in carbon fiber as well. Suspension, nothing too spectacular, but it does the job perfectly well. If you touch it, you can really feel that pattern. Attaches to the wheel brow, and this wheel brow actually has this red trim around it, looking pretty stellar. And then we get to the tires of this car. This is one of the first teams that actually integrates a decal or stencils on the wheel covers. A lot of teams just have black wheel caps, but this car actually utilizes that wheel cover for some detail and design, which I really like. One very bad example of wheel cover design is the 2023 or 2022 Miami Alpine, which was horrible and it didn't fit the car at all. Front of the driver's cell, we have race number 21, 360 camera as well, some different logos of XM Trading, and at the side we have AlphaTauri as well. One design feature which I really like, if you look at the entry of the side pods, we can see that spiky design. Almost if it has a very harsh gradient on the white, looking really nice. And then we get to the very beautiful navy, very dark navy color of this car, which I really adore. At the side of the side pod, we have the text AlphaTauri, and then greeted at this engine bay, we have this huge AlphaTauri logo, which looks amazing on this. Look at that. All the way at the back, we have a Honda logo as well, and above that we have a red race number 21. Moving a little bit more forwards, we get greeted with Nyck de Vries himself in 1/18 scale. Very detailed white racing suit he has on. A lot of different decals as well. AlphaTauri, separate seat belts looking really nice. His design of helmet is a very interesting one. Race number 21, Scuderia AlphaTauri. Obviously, if you drive at AlphaTauri, you have to have AlphaTauri like this big on the side of your head. Steering wheel, I believe, is to be a generic one, but is very highly detailed as well. Mirrors actually have a piece of glass in them, looking pretty good. So the flow of the car is very simplified compared to previous years, because if you look at board watch sections from, let's say, 2019, 2018, they were all over the place. But if you look at this floor, it's pretty simplified because of that Venturi tunnel effect underneath the car. So they basically shouldn't have bargeboard because a lot of airflow is directed underneath the car, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with some regulation as well. I have to say that engine bay is something else. Do you see how squared off that is? Also have some different vents there as well. Brings us to the rear wing of this car. One great thing about this rear wing, it actually has a slit between the DRS flap and the main plane. That is a very, very nice touch in 1/18 scale. The front of the DRS flap, we have a red Orden logo, and underneath there we have AlphaTauri on that beautiful carbon fiber textured wing. Rear of the DRS flap, we have AlphaTauri, and at the sides of the wing end plates we have once again AlphaTauri, the Italian flag, and the logo of Rapid. Underside of the car is basically the same for every ground effect car, which is basically this one gaping hole at the bottom. Not really too interesting at that. There's no diffuser or anything, which I really liked about 2021 cars. This car really pops on the shelf, don't you think? I think it does. Also comes on a base plate as well, which reads AlphaTauri AT04 Scuderia AlphaTauri Bahrain GP 2023 Nyck de Vries. So I hear you thinking, why did you opt for Nyck de Vries when you could have got Yuki Tsunoda, which is a pretty memorable driver at AlphaTauri? Because Nyck de Vries is Dutch. That's basically the reason why I got this car. We don't really have too many Dutch drivers in Formula 1. One that springs to mind is Max Verstappen, obviously, and Robert Doornbos. But apart from that, Jan Lammers as well. But apart from that, not really like they made a difference or anything. And unfortunately, Nyck de Vries also goes into that category, in Formula 1 at least, that he didn't really make a big difference. Did he make a lot of mistakes? Well, I'm not a Formula 1 driver, so I don't know if you can ask me, but as a viewer, yes, he pretty much made mistakes and he was outperformed by Yuki Tsunoda basically the whole season. Will he be getting another chance? I don't think so. I don't think you get another chance with AlphaTauri or Red Bull. When you're out, you're out. Maybe with a different team, maybe as a backup driver for, like, say, Aston Martin, maybe a replacement for Stroll if any of Aston Martin personnel want this. I think you can rather have Nyck de Vries than Stroll. I think anything else in Stroll is basically a fantastic choice. But anyway, Thank you very much for Raceland.de for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check them out in the link down below. Very interesting car. Gonna make an end to this video, put the lid back on. I want to thank you very much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps and keeps me motivated to keep me going. Thank you very much for watching, and I sincerely hope to see you in the next one as well.